Conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep, and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media, and I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out. Stop it, I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I am your host, Joseph Daniel Pena, and it is April 24th, 2024. Yes, we made it, guys. We made it. It's about to be summer. It's about to get hot. It's about to get sweaty. You guys hopefully have that summer body ready, and if you don't, you know where you can go. You can go visit all my links down below for all your supplement needs, coupon needs. I know you guys love couponing because Bidenomics ain't funny. No. Yes, guys. There's donation links down below and all my socials down below. So go ahead, click all of that and share this out. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You are all a blessing in my eyes, and I wouldn't be able to do this without you. So, guys, have you guys ever thought about getting yourselves on a really high vibrational level? Well, seek no further. You guys can go ahead, check out C60 Purple Power over at shopc60.com, a Nobel Prize winning antioxidant. It's one of the best in the world. I literally have everybody on it around here. They love it. I mean, they want to try it. They feel the energy. I feel the energy. People see me energized like to the max. You know, I'm over here at the gym going hard for hours, getting ripped, sweating on the ball court, man, tearing it up, lighting it up. You know, probably one of the best supplements I've ever taken. I've said this many times, but I have spent at least $5,000 or more in the last 10 years on all sorts of supplements, maybe $10,000 or more dollars. And I've been trying things from artificial supplements to natural supplements. And, you know, I've been trying to get my body right. Well, finally, C60 Purple Power offers the best antioxidant. I mean it, man. Like, you take it, your eyes are clear, your skin is clear, you feel radiative, like literally you radiate energy. And there's no other way to say it, guys. It's a Nobel Prize winning antioxidant. Use coupon code 509 Divine Pines for 10% off your order and thank me later. You guys can also check out boomerboost.com for a premium barley blend that will get you supercharged and powered up, literally give you more strength at the gym. I mean, when I was taking it, I was getting at least like, I don't know, 10, 15 more reps in each workout, added like 5 through 20 pounds, so maybe like 10%, you know, 10% more weight. Yeah, you guys can use coupon code Joe30 over at boomerboost.com for like literally the coolest sponsors. You know, they have the coolest supplements, mind, body, and soul orientated. So you're gonna feel good. It's all healthy. It's all organic and it's all natural. And it's gonna get your brain right. You know, for all those foggy days and tired nights, Boomer Boost will get you right. Use coupon code Joe30 for 30% off your order. It's a pretty penny, man. These things cost like $150, but it's totally worth it, man. I mean it. It's by far the most well balanced supplement company with all the grains and all the formulas, probiotics, vitamins, minerals, everything. All right, guys, let's get to it. There is some interesting news out there today, and I would not lie to you. This is it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind for years. Ever since I started coming out with this podcast, I actually wanted to touch on this subject. As you know, I'm an extraterrestrial encounter survivor. I believe I have some biological changes that these other dimensional entities have caused, and there's a lot of proof for it. I really don't age. Um, Sometimes I could be reading people's minds like it's no other's business. It's really crazy. I feel wires in my head. All right, yeah, let's get straight to it. So on Tucker Carlson recently, he no, on Joe Rogan recently, he had Tucker Carlson on, and they talked about this Operation Blue Kona Blue, Operation Aqua, Project Blue, whatever, Blue Aqua. Man, they got a lot of names for this, but pretty much what this is earlier in the 2010s, the military was studying UAPs, studying extraterrestrials, and their involvement with United States civilians. And yeah, it's getting pretty serious. See, they tried covering it up a little bit, just a little bit. They don't really want this information out to everybody. I mean, but it's out there now. It's been on some of the news sites. It's just really interesting. Let's go ahead and check this paper out right here. I'm going to read it to you just to give you an example of what type of things are on there. The bullet point number 12 of this project, Kona Blue, says non-human intelligence is the term that means any sentient, intelligent, and non-human life form, regardless of nature or ultimate origin, that may be presumed responsible for unidentified anomalous phenomenon or which federal government has become aware. So, yes, the federal government is becoming aware of these UAPs and these unnatural phenomena, aka UFOs and other dimensional entities. So right here we see a military Homeland Security paper, and so it's been declassified by Richard D. McComb, a DHS chief security officer, and let's see, it was declassified in 2023, July 18th. So this is a special access program. They did a lot of research on how humans have been affected over the time being that we've been studying them. And so here's a little bit more. There's a lot in this. Kona Blue talks about retrieving data across dimensional space and time, developing remote viewing comms and countermeasures, determines baseline for physical transport across dimensional space-time barrier. And they created a rapid response medical team for UFO interaction events. Yes, this is a real military program, and the military finally admitted that people are being subjected to alterations and attacks from UFOs, aliens, or if you just understand what the Bible's been saying, demons and these fallen angels. It's the same thing, guys. A lot of cultures have references to the fallen angels being in the sky and having craft and technology. And well, see, when we look at the military and what's been happening on the news, some people, not everybody, but some people are saying that these extraterrestrials and spacecraft are not human, that they are threats, that some people look at them as demons, and understandably so because of, well, all the reports and everything that's came out. I mean, when you start hearing that these UFOs and aliens and entities run at the sound of Jesus Christ being repeated, then you know something's up. you know that they probably are not good. And that's what happened. There's a lot of extraterrestrial encounters where the words Jesus Christ were repeated and these entities got scared like demons and just ran. I mean, we know how the Bible says when Jesus comes around, these demons run, these demons get scared. They're like, oh, I know who you are. I cannot be here. They don't want no fight. They don't want that smoke. All praise to God, all praise to Jesus Christ. And this is real data right here. So we're going to go keep on going and express reality just a little bit truer for anybody out there wondering what's been happening with this whole UFO phenomenon. Well, the government's trying to save us, and so am I. And let's get it. So this paper talks about extend remote communication programs to communicate and retrieve data across dimensional space-time barrier, to develop remote viewing and remote communication countermeasures, conduct experiments to determine baseline parameters for physical transport across dimensional space-time barrier as opposed to communication and data transfer only. So they're creating a clear difference between people who are being taken up by a spacecraft and people being communicated by spacecraft. They want to study the consciousness interactions with and control of technology. So, wow, guys, these reports are pretty serious. Number 6 talks about the medical center. It creates a comprehensive database on all physiological and medical effects of advanced aerospace vehicles within the United States. The database will have pattern analysis and correlative capabilities. They also created a rapid response team of in-house physician scientist personnel that, under the supervision of contract physician and deputy administrator, can rapidly conduct MRIs, scans, rapidly conduct appropriate blood tests, genetic tests, cytogenetic analysis, and full forensic internal medicine diagnostic procedures, and integrate the data into a big picture description of the putative aerospace vehicle associated injury. Since to date, some evidence points to non-ionizing radiation associated injuries. Emphasis will be on the rapid reaction and timely sampling utilizing the above described and other appropriate tests. Furthermore, Kona Blue was initially proposed as a special access program within the Department of Homeland Security to continue the work of the Defense Intelligence Agency's ATIP program. The proposal for Kona Blue originated from individuals involved with the previous ATIP program after it was terminated due to a lack of merit. Kona Blue was briefly established by the DHS for Science and Technology in 2011, citing the congressional interest and potential homeland security impacts. However, 6 months later, the DHS security disapproved of Kona Blue, citing concerns about the adequacy of justification and information provided for the program. Crucially, the text explicitly states that no data or materials were ever transferred by DHS under Kona Blue. The text mentions that the achieved proposal and associated documents have been declassified and released to the public with only minimal redactions. So there's a lot here. The government's working pretty hard to either try to prove or disprove this, because I mean there's a lot of sides of the government, guys. It's not just good guys, and it's not just bad guys. It's a mix of both. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for you real fast. Thank you guys for being here, everybody. Remember, like, subscribe, share, tell a bit around that this is going down, and we will change the world by changing our mind, changing our spirit. We cannot be fearful. We got to be fearless. We got to understand that our energy matters. You got to be confident, guys, because I'm not going to be able to do this alone, and neither will you. We all do this together. We all enlighten each other, feed each other knowledge and strength. And here, check this out. Where am I? Sorry, one moment. Just giving a quick change in some settings over here.
Kona Blue have anything to do with the program David
There you
Grush
go.
says exists? News Nation's Joe Khalil is here now with more. Joe, there is a tiny credibility question here. the Pentagon has been saying for the past year there was never any such reverse engineering program. Now it says, oh, there was one, but it never really got started.
Yeah, I mean, there were rumors about this program, the codename Kona Blue, for a long time now. And it was only last month that they acknowledged for the first time ever that it existed. Now we are getting an inside look at how this program was propped up. So it's called Kona Blue. It is real. It was a special access program, very highly classified. It was proposed from the Pentagon to the Department of Homeland Security. We now have all of these declassified documents, and in them, it describes the purpose of the program as, and I'm going to quote here, acquiring, studying, and engineering technology that the U.S. got from UAPs or UFOs. In the documents, it refers to them as AAVs, Advanced Aerospace Vehicles. Ultimately, the program was scrapped by the Department of Homeland Security, but not before years of planning went into it from the Pentagon, and it describes in detail how they stood the program up. They set a budget, $12 million to $15 million the first year, going all the way up to $50 million down the road. And the program in these documents now also makes specific reference to locations in Nevada where some material may be housed. It also references recovered UAP material, personnel with knowledge of recovered technology, and also personnel who know of the whereabouts of this. And just lastly, if you think this sounds too sci-fi or that this was maybe one or two rogue employees at the Pentagon, in these documents it also shows that the Undersecretary of Science and Technology signed off on this program and approved it, saying in these documents that it was a necessary step for national security. So all of that is in here now. We did get a response from the Department of Homeland Security today, and they said simply, quote, while this program was considered under a prior administration, it was never fully established by the Department of Homeland Security. DHS has released these classified documents consistent with its commitment to transparency. So, Elizabeth, it looks like we now have some very clear specifics about what was in this, at least proposal for this plan from the Pentagon.
Wait, you mentioned some budget figures there in the tens of millions of dollars. Was that money ever spent? Was money ever spent on Blue Kona?
I don't believe the money was spent. The money was effectively sort of earmarked within the DoD's budget or the Pentagon's budget, but the program, to my understanding, was scrapped before that money was spent because it was allocated specifically for year one, year two, year three, and year three being an expectation for what they would need at that point.
And what do we make of the fact that they keep talking about locations in Nevada and material being housed in Nevada? What is that a reference to?
You heard that. Sorry, I had to unmute my mic. So this is what I'm getting out there. All the talks about extraterrestrial encounters, people being abducted, people being genetically tested on, is admitted by the government. And, people have been saying this for a while, like, hey, guys, we need to be aware that there's some real things out there controlling us, altering us, affecting us. I'm not saying it always happens, because the moment that you put on Jesus Christ and that full body of armor of God, it goes away. They go away. They don't want none of that smoke, and that's real. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting. This is not about religion. This is about your spirit. This is about them wanting you dead or altered. You look at these celebrities; they're possessed, then they die, and it kind of sucks the way it is, but. People choose that. People choose that life. So we're going to go on, guys. Yeah, Project Kona Blue, you guys need to do a little bit more research on that, man. And anybody out there who has felt that they've been experienced on and been through some alien encounters, really ask yourself what happened, and don't think it's a lie, or don't think you're going crazy, because sometimes these things do happen. But you need to ask yourself first if you understand what happened, if this is all just fabrication or this really did happen. Because some people just dream things, but some people really do go through these experiences. And Graham Hancock is about to tell you something about DMT. So Cambridge is mapping out the DMT realm right here. Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is very fascinated with exploring the DMT hyperspace and using AI to go ahead and help it out. Very, very interesting. James Fox is also on this topic where Cambridge University professors are making a super DMT. So DMT, dimethyltryptamine, is the same that's found in our brain, found in our pineal gland. Pretty much, it's a secreted molecule from the pituitary gland in our brain, or is it pituitary? Pineal gland. Sorry, pineal gland in our brain. And this DMT gets secreted at 3 different stages. Once when we're born, once when we die, and pretty much every time we sleep. You got to activate REM in order to get a proper DMT secretion. But that's what causes dreams. That's what causes the near-death experience visions where you see your whole life flash before your eyes. That's kind of where, as a kid, you're in this lucid state, and it's almost like you can see and hear things that that are hidden later on in your future. And Cambridge is making a super DMT, meaning instead of like you can find this drug or how about this? You can find this compound drug. It's a compound. You can find this compound, smoke it, and get high for 5 minutes. Well, that's what most people did for the longest time. But now Cambridge has upped the notch, and people are now in this DMT realm for at least 2 hours because of the actual potency of this DMT chemical that they're making. It's literally like 50 times, 100 times more stronger than anything in the world. And professors over at Cambridge are doing this for university studies to, in their words, map out the DMT realm. Because when they take this compound, or how about this, when this chemical secretes from your brain, people can also link it to how we dream and how we have visions, how we have out-of-body experiences. So they're doing this for 2 hours straight. They're literally able to map out the dream world, or map out the vision world, or map out the spirit world. Let's go ahead and listen to Graham Hancock talk about this for about 2.5 minutes.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
My God, I mean, it's a mystery enough to be born a human being at all.
Yes,
just to be alive is an extraordinary mystery.
Yes,
to have the ability to love, to feel emotions, to understand beauty, to be moved by a symphony. All of these things we take for granted, but actually they're deeply mysterious. We don't really know what we are or who we are, and which is one of the reasons I'm so fascinated by Rick Strassman's work. You presented his film DMT, the spirit molecule, and on my upcoming speaking tour, I'm going to be doing an event with Rick on the 14th or 15th of May in Sedona. I think it'll be the first time that Rick has spoken publicly for quite a while. Rick has a colleague called Andrew Gallimore, who teaches at the University of Okinawa in Japan. And Rick and Andrew have together developed a technology for releasing DMT into human volunteers in a very slow drip that will keep them in the DMT state, if they wish, for hours on end. and the intention is to use this technology to explore and map the DMT realm.
When do I sign up?
As soon as possible.
Where do I go?
It's very close. Imperial College, it looks like Imperial College London is going to deploy this technology in further research into DMT, and that research is not going to be purely and simply into the therapeutic potential of a psychedelic, which is very important research to do. It's going to be an investigation into the nature of reality using a psychedelic, the mysterious nature of reality. And it is odd, and you know this from personal experience, that when you get plunged into that DMT realm, it is so different from the realm of our daily world, filled with geometry, filled with these sprightly intelligences, completely internally coherent. How can that be generated by the brain? Or are we dealing with some other level of reality that we haven't encountered yet? I think that ancient cultures, and in particular my lost civilization, were deeply involved in exploring the mysterious nature of reality.
You heard that. I didn't lie. I did not lie. So pretty much all the biggest professors and biggest, I don't know, spiritual agencies, spiritual researchers, consciousness researchers are all trying to map out the DMT world. Pretty much map out the spirit world. Let's go ahead and hear James Fox
Now, again, I'm
talk about it.
working with a number of researchers in Imperial College in London who are doing research into DMT. They're actually taking DMT intravenously under control conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing when they do that, they have out-of-body experiences, they experience entities. The entities seem to know they're coming. The entities seem to remember them from last time. And one of my associates, he told me that he took the DMT under control conditions, found himself in what's called the DMT cage, which is a kind of a location in space-time. And he said this alien entity came over to him and prodded him on his shoulder and said, "You shouldn't be doing this way. This is wrong." And he said he then came back into his body, and 2 weeks later, he had the DMT again. He was in exactly the same place, and exactly the same alien came over and said to him again, "I told you last time, this is not how you should do it." So they're starting to believe that whichever space we go into when we're in DMT trips, it's real. It's more real than this reality. This is the illusion. This is the hallucination.
Did you just hear what two of the most profound researchers on this planet said about DMT? So, you know, it kind of gives a little nod to what I've been reading in the Bible. Like, we have this physical body here, but the spiritual body is eternal. That there's this spiritual force that we have that is forever, that is realer, that is bigger, stronger, wiser, faster, smarter. That the body we are currently in, it's only flesh. It's only temporary. It doesn't last a long time. It dies pretty quick. It's weak. Look, that's not what they're saying. Like, they're not calling us weak. But what I'm saying is that there's this spirit world, and all cultures, whether that be modern day scientists or ancient religions, all talk about this spirit world. You know, we're spirit. You know, it gives mentions and nods to a heavenly spirit, an eternal spirit, a forever spirit. Well, that's what is being said by these DMT researchers, and I think that all of us should take a clear understanding about the last two articles I just said. The government is admitting that aliens are real, that the damage and the biological changes that aliens have been doing on people's bodies, UFO and contactees and alien contactees, is real. Also, researchers are saying that this spiritual realm that everybody's been speculating for the longest time is real. So, you know, you look at what the Bible says. I think it's Ephesians. We must put on the full body of armor, because we wrestle against flesh and blood, or we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual rulers in high places and dark places. Well, you know, I don't want you guys to fully have faith or fully like go die hard and, you know, think, oh, every little thing is an alien or UFO or demon or anything. But I would like to have you guys research this a little bit more than usual, especially if you guys are experiencing things. I know a lot of people like talk to me now and say, hey man, you know, I had this type of experience and dream. I felt like I had an encounter with an alien or UFO, or, you know, I felt like that was a spiritual attack this on me. And it's like, I'm glad that, you know, you guys are listening to my podcast and realizing that some of these things that you have experienced over your life, you know, it could be in the good too. You know, people talking about their dreams and talk about visions and talk about hearing God save them. It's all real. It's 100%. And it's going to take a very strong mind to go ahead and admit it, because you're not going to be able to understand this life if you can't admit life. If you can't go ahead and accept life, then how can you live life? And it's Right now in 2024, it's very important that you understand these multidimensional natures because of places like CERN that are opening up portals and talking to these other dimensions. And then you see all of the Hollywood and what they're doing and the entities that they're causing, how do I say this? The spiritual trap and darkness that they're putting people in, the demonic possessions, the night terrors, the paralyzation. I mean, I know I'm not the only one who's ever experienced nighttime tremors, nighttime paralyzation, but it's real. Like, I've had people come and talk to me about that, and it's pretty scary, right? Well, when you put on that full body of armor with God and Jesus Christ, those things go away. It's very phenomenal. It's very, very phenomenal. It's like they don't want nothing to do with it. Next up, guys, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. So the Alex Jones, he sues. Oh, you know what? Before I move on to the Alex Jones, let me go ahead and play one more thing about Kona. So this is from Tucker Carlson. This is Tucker Carlson on Joe Rogan podcast.
Apparently by accident.
So here you go. We're gonna play this article real quick.
The Project Aqua stuff. Did you see that?
No. What's that? Retrieving data across dimensional space-time, develop remote viewing comms and countermeasures, determine baseline for physical transport across dimensional space-time barrier, rapid response medical teams for UFO interaction events. So how did they do this accidentally? Study conscious interactions with and control of technology.
So I got this from someone in the U.S. government who's well, look, let me just start by saying I don't know anything, but he sent me this. The above is 100% legit. I was read into this program but told never to tell anyone. It's now been released. As you can see, it began as a result of my old program AATIP. I signed a document saying I would never talk about Kona Blue and similar efforts. I can't believe the AARO would have released it. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, here's what we do know is that there's enough going on in the skies, but not just the skies, underwater, that the U.S. military has been forced to respond to it. So, like, move aircraft from one place to another because there are too many of these objects in the sky. That's actually happened. Chris Mellon just wrote a long piece about it. So it's real. The government is not controlling it. In fact, it's forcing the government DOD to respond. And we know that there is a real effort and has been underway for a long time to keep the public from knowing about it. But that's all known. That's established. I don't think any rational person would deny that. The question is, like, what is it actually? I mean, now is sort of the point where you have to ask, like, what is this?
And I hope you guys are asking the same thing, because right now we see it all over the world. Something's happening. Something's changing. Something's sorry. Food went down the wrong windpipe. I was eating a burger, a pocket burger. Yeah, I stored it in my pocket, and I think I left it in there a little bit too long. Give me some burps. All around the world, we're seeing things. We're seeing people talk about their experiences. Like me, I've had multiple experiences, and now I have all the proof that I need. And everyone else should understand, like, I'm not just doing this for publicity. No one is. Especially, oh God, sorry. Especially all the things that we get called for talking about these things, it's not worth just the publicity. This is real data. Helps you guys understand. So all around the nation, we're seeing riots and problems. Well, Um, there's been some big issues over the last like 50 years where a lot of people have been wondering, has the government been making families poor? Has the government been secretly targeting families and um, controlling people, getting them, in legal stipulations and putting people under pressure where, it's hard for them and their family to live? And well, whatever happened to Alex Jones a few years ago was direct targeting from the CIA, FBI, and people have been talking about this for a long time. Like, hey, man, the CIA is sketchy. The government is sketchy. It wants like pretty much wants all the good people dead. It wants like literally all the good families dead. Either that or in legal situations or in poverty. And that's what we've seen. We've seen a lot of things over the last 70 years, Bob Marley dying, getting killed by the CIA with a document saying, hey, yeah, he promotes too much love. And so many others out there who just do good. And, Alex Jones has his flaws. He's kind of loco, but he's a good loco. He's on the right track. And so we call him locomotion, right? Let's go ahead and hear what happened to Alex Jones. So CIA agent admits at least 20 agents were in the crowd instigating a riot. And they're also targeting this dude. So let's go ahead and hear this.
I go to the mall and hide in a stairwell and take photos of women's skirts. I have a whole book of cooter shots under my bed.
Drew Carey on the press.
If you're the most popular guy on all TV, you'll get fired for asking the wrong questions about January 6th. Remains a black box. And while we have a lot of January 6th footage, an enormous amount of information about that day remains curiously missing. Now, there is some footage, however, that isn't missing and is quite confusing to those of us who are simply watching from afar. Here's footage of a violent protester getting released from his handcuffs. What's this about? By the officers there on the Capitol that day. Not only that, he fist bumps the officers who fist bump him back as though they know each other. And the officers let him out of his shackles, this violent, angry, dangerous, insurrectionist, and they let him go. After saying, what's up? After saying, how you doing? After high-fiving the guy. And now the officers talk to each other. What does this mean? Well, either these two officers are totally derelict in their duty, protecting the Capitol that day, releasing a violent protester back onto the street, even when they had him in shackles. Or this man was a paid operational asset agitator from the federal government who they arrested without understanding his credentials. And then when he told them that he worked for the FBI or the intelligence agencies, they let him go. They checked that through the walkie-talkie. Oh, yep, we got John here from the FBI. This has just simply been speculation for us until now. When a former FBI agent, current CIA officer in undercover recordings explains that there were at least 20 undercover FBI agents at the Capitol on January 6th, saying effectively that they can arrest anybody that they wish, and that they set up right-wing journalists like Tucker and Alex Jones for jail. My God, ladies and gentlemen, we can put anybody in jail, set them up. We call it a nudge. Okay, what the hell is this? This is an investigation from a group called Sound Investigations. Here's their handle. Sound Investigations came up with this recording, and we'll play it for you in just one moment. Some of the takeaways here are the CIA officer boasts we can put anybody in jail. FBI, we did what we wanted with Alex Jones, took his money away, chopped his legs off. Estimates 20 undercover agents on January 6th, works with them now, the CIA. Yeah, we're all friends. FBI used embellished news and fake social media stories to get people mad and to get Tucker Carlson fired. My heavens, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Jones has responded to this, by the way. I think this is very important to say up front, and then we'll play the clips. Breaking bombshell, FBI CIA deep state manager confirms FBI agents were in the crowd on January 6th, confessed that 3-letter government agencies were targeting Alex Jones to silence him. More info soon. Elon Musk call for a congressional investigation, please, ASAP. Elon Musk has responded, saying this is disturbing. And I hope Alex Jones sues the hell out of the FBI. Right. I mean, it certainly seems like it would be exculpatory evidence. Let's have a listen, ladies and gentlemen, to Gavin O'Blennis, contracting officer for the CIA.
Oblenis is a contracting officer at the CIA. Oblenis worked for the FBI in 2021 and 2022 in the San Diego office, moved on to Homeland Security where he conducted asylum interviews at the southern border, and now works for the CIA managing multi-million-dollar contracts across government agencies and private sector vendors.
I work for this without, I'm not supposed to tell people kind of job. If I say intelligence, what do you think? CIA? Yep. You work for CIA? I do. That's incredible. I'm a contracting officer. That's amazing. So I deal a lot with like different agencies. We're contracting with like Director of National Intelligence to do stuff. We do Navy, Army, any of them really. I just FBI. I used to work for the FBI, so they threw the FBI at me. They're like, "Here, you used to work there." Oh, I'm permanent. I said, "Yeah, good." Well, why do they call contracting? Because I do the contracting for them. I do all the legal contracts. I fly out to vendors and evaluate them. I love the agency. Good for you. I like the bureau too. The bureau was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of cool stuff with the bureau.
A lot of cool stuff. Clearly really good at his job, this guy. The smartest G-men. Only the smartest spies, ladies and gentlemen. So what does he say about January 6th? I guess this is the leading headline here, although there's a lot in this interview, and we encourage you, of course, to go watch it for yourself. But here's what the man says about January 6th, of which he was directly involved.
Oblenis states that he knows and works with FBI agents who were undercover in the January 6th Capitol riot, estimating about 20 field agents were there undercover. While Oblenis notes that they were not involved in violence, this appears to be the first admission of undercover FBI agents in attendance.
I thought you said that there were FBI agents in the crowd at J6. There always are when there's a big protest in DC, just in case it gets out of hand. There wasn't enough to turn that tide. I mean.
Released apparently by accident. The
Let her go! Let her go!
Yeah, so what we're seeing right there is Los Angeles police have arrived at the University of Southern California geared up in riot gear to make mass arrests with the clashes happening over the Palestine protesters, which involve hundreds of students and other activists. Man, this guy looks like he got a freaking Nerf gun, like he got a water gun or something. One of them, yeah, cool water guns. Man, doesn't look real, but it's real. This is all happening. No, protests everywhere. You know, but it's kind of dumb too on what's happening. Next up, though, let's go ahead and show you guys a piece of a video. So this video is called "Solving the Mystery of Building 7." It's a mini documentary on 9/11, and it shows people some of the things that really happened that day. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this real fast. Let's go ahead and rewind this for all of y'all.
Throughout the ages, architects and engineers have designed and built the great structures that have made our world and withstood the test of time. Hi, I'm Ed Asner. Welcome to Architects and Engineers. Let's look now at modern steel frame buildings. This is the Empire State Building, a marvel of modern architecture. It was built to last. Architects and engineers of today use computers to design and engineer buildings that will endure the forces of nature. such as earthquakes, fires, and hurricanes. This modern skyscraper was also built to last. We've seen buildings completely destroyed like this before, but only when done intentionally. Danny Jowenko is the expert on this in Europe. What did he say?
Dit is controlled demolition. Zeker weten, zeker weten. Er is nagesprongen. Dit is in opdracht gebeurd. Het heeft een team gedaan van experts.
Let's compare. Explosives are used to demolish buildings like this in just seconds. Okay, so it's a controlled demolition. What's the problem with that? Well, it happened on the afternoon of 9/11 at the World Trade Center. Let's just think about this. Controlled demolitions cannot be engineered and rigged in a day. It takes months. And therefore, this event must have been planned in advance.
Keep your eye on that building as they coming down.
About to blow up. Moving back. We're walking back. It's a building about to blow up.
They actually.
You guys can find the rest on my Twitter over at 509 Divine Pines. So this documentary is called Solving the Mystery of Building 7. Yes, guys, if you didn't know, there were 3 buildings on 9/11 that went down, but you never hear about the third one. And it's not a lie. 7. And it's one of the buildings that had most of the most important things in there. It's quite a tragedy because it's covered up. You know, they only like to talk about World Trade Center Tower 1 and 2, but not number 7. They don't even want you to know about it, really. But it's out there, and it's true. It's proven. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is a building that was blown up or destroyed on 9/11. So go ahead and check it out a little bit further on my Twitter. So, man, right here on my Twitter, also you see a speculated 400-year-old Greenland shark. The dude looks like stone. Yeah, he looks old. We also have a patent for adrenochrome made by the United States Patent Office, which pretty scary. But let's go ahead and show you guys what adrenochrome is. It's the blood, baby blood, and the elites do it all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and show you 15 minutes of movie clips that might just make you understand. Oh, these dudes are really sick. Like they really like baby's blood. Man, oh man. Check it out with everybody's favorite Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing.
Where'd you get this?
Never mind. It's absolutely pure.
What kind of monster clown have you hooked up with this time?
Satanism freak.
I think there's only one source for this stuff. The adrenaline gland from a living human body.
I know. The guy didn't have any cash to pay me. He offered me human blood, said it would take me higher than I'd ever been in my life. Thought he was kidding. So I told him I'd just as soon have an ounce or so of pure adrenochrome. Or maybe just a fresh adrenaline gland to chew on.
I could already feel the stuff working on me. The first wave felt like a combination of mescaline and methadone.
We're going in there because we need this. Our city is counting on you to collect those children's screams. Without Scream, we have no power. Yes, it's dangerous work, and that's why I need you to be at your best.
Are you okay?
If I say no, will I seem less manly?
Oh, Alpha, that's not possible. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Like a barn?
First of all, sweetie, shut up. I'm not gonna hurt this little guy. I'm gonna leech the magic out of him. Don't you want a magic daddy?
No. Gosh, I want a magic daddy, and I would never call you that, even if you were. You just want your stupid elixir of life so you can be immortal and rule forever. God, you're selfish and cruel.
Your father and I were trying to recreate that cure-all. We developed a mutagen capable of stimulating self-repair on a cellular level. And you are just teenagers. The mutagen in your blood is of great value to them. The government will then send Sachs Industry a blank check, and I'm gonna be rich. Like, stupid rich. Shredder will force this city to live under our rule. We will be gods.
Oh, I read that. Great article about injecting human growth hormone to stay young, except they never say where they're getting it from. Makes you wonder if they're sucking the youth out of small brown children somewhere so that actors and trophy wives can stay in business.
Frank.
David?
You look well. Age becomes you.
Thanks. You should try it.
I don't know. I think I'll just keep drinking my shake every morning. Comes in chocolate now.
Yum.
A tonic. A potion. What does it do? How old would you guess I am? I wouldn't. Come on, don't try to flatter me. 38. Oh, 28. 3. 23. I am 71 years old. That's what it does. It stops the aging process dead in its tracks and forces it into retreat. Drink that potion, and you'll never grow even one day older. Don't drink it, and continue to watch yourself rot. Watch.
All right. I'm not gonna go through all 15 minutes, but you guys got enough references in there, right, to go ahead and understand that whatever these Hollywood movies are showing, well, it's probably real. Man, up also on my Twitter that I'll talk about another day, the CIA took down the Kennedy FBI report off archive.org, and it's a 22-page report detailing the largest drug smuggling operation in recorded history perpetrated by President George W.H. Bush. And, well, they're taking it down for a reason, because they don't want you to know the ex-president's drug operations. Man, they already released the movie Barry Seal. Why even hide it now? The cat's already out the bag. Next up, sources say that there's reports stating that Kris Jenner was Diddy's boss, which you guys can do some more research, and it seems it's might be very, 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 very true. There's that whole situation where Kanye didn't like what Kim was doing to his kids, and now you can kind of imagine why. But next up, 2 conspiracy theorists are banned. Psych! 2 states ban a quote-unquote conspiracy theory, even though it's not. So Tennessee bans chemtrails. New Hampshire bans chemtrails, and this is not a joke. Tennessee and New Hampshire have become the first and second state to ban chemtrails or genetically modified weather patterns, through the artificial insemination of clouds and different things. I guess it's not called insemination, but yeah, you know what I meant. The artificial creation of chemtrails and fake clouds and stuff. All these lines in the sky we see. Well, New Hampshire and Tennessee beat us to the punch and banned them. Next up, a friend of Kyle Marissa Roth told me that her ultimate death was put on trial by the information regarding the Maui fires that can put Oprah Winfrey in prison for life. Whew, that's that's a lot to talk about, guys. You do know all about the conspiracies behind Maui and how that was one of the most trippiest fires, especially since there's a direct energy weapons base within like 60 miles away. Really close. There's a direct energy base on the island of Hawaii. So, they don't really have to go too far to mess up the weather or anything. Let's see. Google fires another 20 employees in retaliation for Project Nimbus. Wow, yeah. So all around the nation, people who are going up for those Palestine rights are all getting fired. Next up, there's a new oh my gosh, there's a new flamethrower dog called the Terminator. The Ohio-based firm has announced that a $10,000 bot is available for purchase by the general public and government agencies for the first time. So a robot shooting fire. Yeah, that's safe, bro. Yeah, Nope. I don't know. That's pretty dangerous. But it's gonna match up with Elon Musk's house robot for 20,000. So next year we're about to see robots fight. Next up, Prime Energy Drinks has 3 times the forever chemicals inside of them and like 3 times the caffeine. So pretty much 3 times the plastic and 3 times the caffeine, pretty much destroying your body. Also, what's funny is that all the fighters that have signed with Prime Energy Drink with their contract have all lost their next fight. Like almost they're getting tricked into drinking Prime, and now their bodies are taking a damage. Prime is getting sued, just like the rest of these companies. Skittles, Hot Cheetos, all these different things, Oreos, everything, pretty much. Right here, there's also this might be a couple months old or it might be new. I need some more clarification. Right now I can't find much, but Israel attacked South Lebanon with internationally banned chemical weapons called white phosphorus, and on the shellings of the white phosphorus were United States military markings. So pretty much the United States military was selling Israel illegal weapons. That's kind of why we need to go ahead and pray for Israel, because there's some wicked stuff happening. Yeah, and as you've seen, Bernie Sanders getting in trouble. Next up, guys. So 10-foot tall people discovered by archaeologists in Nevada cave. Mythology, folklore, and even the Bible tell us that giants once roamed the earth. The Book of Enoch also says that the fallen angels came down and mated with the women of earth, creating the giants, aka the Nephilim. And it turns out there's more evidence to back this claim. Extraordinary humans' remains have been found in the United States of Nevada, with some of the skeletons measuring up to 10 feet tall. Alongside their jaw-dropping size, the bodies, which were said to have been mummified, were found to have red hair. This fueled the story that passed down throughout the ages that a long-forgotten race of human giants once dominated southwestern America. According to the Peyote, a tribe settled in the Nevada region thousands of years ago, cannibalistic red-haired giants called the Setake came to the Americas from a distant land. Legend has it that the Seteka crossed the ocean on rafts made of reeds, and they soon made a name for themselves as being taller, stronger, and crueler than ordinary men. Then in 1911, while digging for bat guano in a cave near Lovelock, Nevada, some miners unearthed a number of strange objects. They prompted the launch of 2 official excavations in 1912 and 1924, during which thousands of artifacts were recovered. Among the staggering finds were mummies nicknamed the Lovelock Giants, which measured about 8 to 10 feet tall. They also found a 15-inch long sandal that showed signs of wear and a boulder etched with what appears to be a giant handprint. Shortly after the second excavation in 1931, an article published in a local newspaper, the Nevada Review Miner, claimed that 2 giant skeletons had been discovered in a dry lake bed close to Lovelock. These remains measured 8.5 and 10 feet tall in height, respectively, and were mummified in a manner similar to that employed by the ancient Egyptians. All while this sounds far-fetched, the legend of these strange people crops up all over America. For example, in the 16th century, a Spanish conquistador called Pedro Cieza de Leon recorded an ancient Peruvian tale about the giant's origins. In his account, Dr. de Leon wrote that the towering figures came by sea in rafts of reed in a matter of large boats, and that some of the men were so tall that from the knee down they were as big as the length of an ordinary human size. Furthermore, high up in the Andes between Peru and Bolivia, skeletons with elongated skulls have been found. The remains are said to be around 3,000 years old and much larger than normal ones. Intriguingly, some of them were also found to have red hair. According to Archaeology World, some scientists attribute the reddish hair to the environment in which the bodies were buried. However, others view it as proof of the Azteca and their kin. And if you're wondering how strong and monstrous race came to disappear if it ever existed at all, the Peyote have an answer. According to the mythology, the Azteca waged a war on them and all their neighboring tribes, wreaking terror and destruction. After years of fighting, the tribes formed against this formidable foe. Eventually, the last remaining giants were chased away and sought shelter inside Lovelock Cave. Seizing their chance, the tribe started a fire at the cave entrance, suffocating and burning alive the Azteca giants who were left. Interestingly, when the initial discoveries were made back in the 1911, evidence of extreme burning near its entrance was found. And if these 10-foot tall giants were just a figment of folklore and imagination, then, you're obviously got it wrong. If you still think that these are folklore and imaginations, then you obviously got the wrong, and you need to reevaluate reality. Sonic 3 is going to go ahead and take a lot from Sonic Adventures 2, aka the best Sonic game ever. I am so happy, so livid. This is by far one of the coolest moments in video game movie history. I mean, guys, who played Sonic Adventures 2? Like, by far one of the greatest games ever. Oh my gosh, man, it's so fun. You can create like a little baby out of an egg, and it's like you can control the way it goes and play games, like little mini games and stuff. Like it's so dope. It is so cool. The soundtrack is by far phenomenal. The best soundtrack in the Sonic games. The replayability of Sonic Adventures 2 is the coolest, man. I freaking love that game. I played that game nonstop, man. Me and my niece. It was freaking awesome. When we were growing up, we were like the same age, and man, we just loved that game. It's cool, man. Sonic is fun all around. Rolling around and doing all these cool little things. Man, no other way to say it. Sonic is the coolest game. It's one of the coolest games for sure. And the new movie is about to be right on par with all of it. If it's taking all the information from the best Sonic game, then yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Oh, I closed that, did I? Yeah. So, yeah, my bad, guys. There it is. Next up, oh look at that one. Here's that Prime Energy drink. Yeah, Prime Energy drink is being sued for forever chemicals. Mark Wahlberg is building a $1.8 billion Sony movie studio, approved for Summerlin. So I think West Hollywood, or no, West Las Vegas. Next up, dozens more arrested. So over at NYU in New York, over in California, it's happening. All these pro-Palestine rioters are all getting arrested. These guys are absolutely brainless, and I'm saying that politely because you listen to these guys try to defend why they're defending Palestine. They don't even know what they're saying. They do not have any clue what's happening in Palestine with Hamas, with Israel, and all that. They're just like, they literally say in interviews, well, I heard my friends needed support for the riot, so I came, and that's how a lot of them are. Next up, the United Nations Rights Chief calls for an independent investigation as more bodies are recovered in the Gaza mass graves. The United Nations Human Rights Chief on Tuesday said he was horrified by the reports of the discoveries of hundreds of bodies in mass graves at 2 medical facilities in Gaza and called for an independent investigation into the deaths and destruction of the complexes. I'm not going to go ahead and view the pictures down below, but yeah, we've all seen what's happened over there, and just prayers for the Middle East right now. So, officials at Columbia University, Yale, and other schools are they're shooken by the anti-Semitic nature. Oh no, sorry. They're shooking and causing anti-Semitic rage all across the nation, and a lot of people are being expelled and being banned and being fired. Yeah, they know better. Next up, Tennessee passes bill allowing teachers to carry guns, which is a win. Tennessee state legislature passed a bill on Tuesday. If it becomes a law, would allow teachers on school or staff to have concealed weapons in a school. Nice. Good, that's a win. Next up, U.S. Senate passes TikTok ban or invest fail unless someone invests in it. A really, really big player. Elon Musk. No idea. Next up, Germany makes it legal for kids to go ahead and have gender transition. So infants, once they come out of the baby or once they come out of the mother, Germany passed a law that these infants can change sex. Yeah, pretty bad. And there's a lot more too. I just don't want to read it. It's pretty disgusting. So you guys go ahead, check that out. Germany legalizes gender transitioning, transgender for infants. Next up, though, from Daily Mail, Operation Prevent the Next Pandemic. Biden administration announces that there's a treaty with 50 countries to identify the next killer pathogens. Yeah, that's pretty much bad news. So now 50 countries are all dictating what is a virus and who is sick, what is sick. And yeah, unless something, works out for the good, but who knows that. Next up, buried in the ash of Mount Vesuvius, cataclysmic eruption in 79 AD, hundreds of papyrus scrolls have been kept in their secret chambers for centuries. Archaeologists now are able to decipher some of the ancient texts with artificial intelligence. Discovered in the rooms of a villa thought to have been owned by Julius Caesar's father-in-law, Lucius Calpurnius Piso Caesarius, and the Herculaneum papyri are a collection of around 1,000 scrolls that are carbonized during the eruption, along with thousands of other relics. Found by a farm worker in the 18th century, they are named after the place that they were buried, Herculaneum, an ancient Roman town to the south of Pompeii that was also destroyed by the blast. Previous attempts to unlock their secrets have failed because most of the scrolls were turned into carbon ash and broken to pieces. However, they were painstakingly enrolled by a monk over several decades and found to contain philosophical texts written in Greek. Until now, the only way we've been able to read what's inside the Herculaneum scrolls is to put together the thousands of pieces of ones that crumbled apart. It's like putting together a mosaic, and there's not many people willing to do it. So it may take 500 years to decipher the content. With this artificial intelligence technique, we should be able to do it within years. The breakthrough came after global competition was allowed to accelerate the reading of the text. The Vesuvius Challenge offered 1 million in prizes to those who can solve the text of 270 closed scrolls. It was launched by a team of University of Kentucky led by Brent Seals, who released software and thousands of 3D X-ray images of 3 papyrus fragments and 2 rolled up scrolls in the hope that global research groups would take up the challenge. Seal's team had already pioneered a way to virtually unwrap the ancient scroll from Israel using X-ray tomography and computer vision, but even that was not enough to barely read the visible ink on the ancient documents from Herculaneum. The chemistry of the ink from an ancient world is different from the chemistry of medieval times. It's largely invisible to the naked eye when caught by the X-ray. However, we know that tomography captures information about the ink. In 2019, we did come up with a solution based on artificial intelligence that allowed us to see the ink, but it needed a lot of data. We had a small team, so we started upscaling it and accelerating the work. Yeah, pretty awesome, pretty sweet. The trio were able to read 2,000 letters from this machine. After the winners were announced, one of the competition sponsors, Nat Friedman, wrote on the social media, new text from the ancient world that has never been seen before. The author, probably Epicurean philosopher Philodemus, writes here about music, food, and how to enjoy life's pleasures. He said, in the closing section, the author throws shade at unnamed ideological adversaries, perhaps the Stoics, who have nothing to say about pleasure either in general or in particular. Giancarlo Del Maestro, a professor at papyrology in Naples University, Campania, Luigi Venetilli, called the technique revolutionary. We are so astonished, said Del Mastro, who helped judge the Vesuvius challenge. We worked every day and night to interpret it, but what I find even more exciting is about using this method, and now we can reveal what has been hidden in the papyrus for almost 2,000 years. Wow, pretty sweet, guys. Next up, pretty cool. Next up, right here, the world's tallest building that's going to make the Burj Khalifa look like an infant. Pretty much, it's going to tower into the sky like a Tower of Babel. Next up, Alexander Gusev. Oh, wait, no, that's it, actually. Hey, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, and I love you guys. You guys take care. Be blessed. Be high. And if you guys could donate below, I provided a solid episode for you guys today. It's been about more than an hour, maybe hour 15. And I do this for you. If you guys could do a little for me, send me some, donations, or drop down and hit the coupon links and sponsorships. That'd be great. But until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. God bless you guys, and take care. See you guys next time on the 509 Divine Pines podcast. Peace. I'm freaking tired.